Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Applied Psychology, Carl Jung. I'm your host, and today we're not just discussing a concept, we're inviting you on an intimate, profound journey. A journey that asks us to bravely look at the parts of ourselves we've carefully tucked away, the parts we might even fear. We're diving into Carl Jung's powerful concept of the shadow and exploring its absolutely vital role in our path toward deep self-awareness, true healing, and ultimately, a magnificent transformation. You know, in a world that constantly nudges us to showcase only our brightest, most polished selves on social media and in our everyday interactions, Jung's wisdom offers a refreshing, almost radical invitation to gently turn our gaze inward, to acknowledge, not judge, the very parts of ourselves we've instinctively denied, hidden, or perhaps even unconsciously projected onto others. This isn't a trek into darkness for darkness's sake. It's a journey of radical acceptance, a profound act of self-love, paving the way for unprecedented growth. What is the shadow? The unseen pieces of our puzzle. So let's get curious. What exactly is this mysterious shadow Jung spoke about? Imagine it as everything within you that you aren't fully conscious of. It's like the forgotten rooms in the house of your personality, filled with repressed memories, disowned qualities, or unexpressed impulses. It's your personal unconscious, a sacred psychological container holding all those bits of yourself that your conscious mind, your ego, decided were unacceptable, maybe a little dangerous, or even downright shameful. Now, when we hear dark side, we often jump to negative traits like anger, jealousy, selfishness, or fear. And yes, the shadow absolutely holds those. But here's the crucial, often overlooked part. The shadow also guards undeveloped positive qualities. Think about it. Untapped creativity, spontaneous joy, powerful intuition, or even a dormant leadership potential you might have suppressed because of past judgment or simply a deep-seated lack of self-belief. Let me paint a picture. Consider someone you know who's always nice. They never, ever seem to express anger. What happens to that anger? It doesn't magically vanish. It gets quietly relegated to their shadow. This repressed anger might then subtly leak out as passive aggressiveness, a simmering resentment, or even manifest as unexplained physical symptoms. Or what about that person who sees themselves as completely rational, purely logical, maybe even a bit dismissive of anything artistic or intuitive? Those vibrant creative impulses, those quiet whispers of intuition, they become part of their shadow, potentially leaving them with a persistent ache of unfulfillment or a puzzling lack of passion in their life. Isn't that fascinating? Why do we form the shadow? Echoes from our past. The seeds of our shadow are often sown incredibly early in life. Think back to your own childhood. From our parents, our teachers, our community, we quickly learned the unspoken rules, what was acceptable, what brought praise, and what was met with disapproval or even punishment. And so we quickly internalized these rules. If crying was shamed, we learned to push down our sadness. If speaking our truth or expressing strong opinions led to conflict, we learned to bite our tongue, to dim our light. This process, while sometimes painful, is actually a necessary part of our journey into society. It helps us adapt, to fit in, to function within a community. But here's where the wisdom of Jung comes in. If we don't, later in life, consciously acknowledge and integrate these disowned parts, the shadow can wield an incredibly powerful and often quite detrimental influence over our lives. It operates behind the scenes, unseen yet deeply felt. Have you ever found yourself incredibly triggered by someone else? That intense dislike, that raw irritation for a particular trait you see in another person? Perhaps their arrogance, their relentless need for attention, or what you perceive as their weakness. Jung would suggest that this is often a projection of our own unacknowledged shadow. We see in them precisely what we've refused to see or even condemned within ourselves. Now, this isn't to say every negative reaction is a projection, of course not, but it is an incredibly powerful, illuminating lens through which to examine our own inner landscape. It's a mirror, if you will, reflecting something we need to look at within. Warm, calming, almost whispering voice. The journey of shadow work, illumination, not elimination. So, if this powerful shadow exists, what do we actually do with it? Jung never ever advocated for eliminating the shadow. You can't destroy a part of yourself without destroying yourself. Instead, he championed integrating it. And this, my friends, is the very essence of shadow work. It's the brave act of bringing unconscious material into conscious awareness. It's not about eradicating those darker corners of our psyche, but about illuminating them, understanding them, and ultimately befriending them. Why is this so incredibly important? Because when the shadow remains unconscious, it controls us. It can lead to baffling patterns of self-sabotage, that feeling of repeating the same mistakes over and over, unpredictable emotional outbursts that leave us wondering, where did that come from? And a persistent, nagging feeling of being incomplete. But the moment we dare to shine a light on it, we gain a profound gift: choice. We can then consciously decide how to respond to life, rather than being unknowingly driven by those hidden, unconscious impulses. This journey isn't about striving for some impossible perfection. It's about becoming whole. It's about bravely accepting the full, vibrant spectrum of our human experience, the light and the dark, the undeniable strengths and the raw, vulnerable spots. It's about authentic living, practical approaches to shadow work, compassionate tools for self-awareness. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds powerful, but how do I actually do shadow work? It's true. It's a lifelong process, often challenging, sometimes uncomfortable. But I promise you, it is immensely, profoundly rewarding. Here are some practical, gentle approaches to begin or deepen your journey. First, pay close attention to your projections. As we discussed, truly observe what deeply irritates you, or perhaps even unexpectedly fascinates you, in others. If someone's assertiveness unexpectedly triggers intense anger in you, gently ask yourself, where might I be denying my own assertiveness? Or where in my life have I felt truly powerless? If you find yourself overly critical of someone's perceived laziness, pause and ask, where might I be suppressing my own legitimate need for rest? Or perhaps resisting a task I genuinely don't want to do? These are golden clues. Next, embrace journaling and dream work. These are incredibly powerful, direct avenues into your unconscious mind. For journaling, simply write freely, without judgment. Pour out your fears, your shame, your guilt, and specifically the parts of yourself you truly dislike. Don't censor a single thought. Explore moments when you felt an uncharacteristic emotion or when you acted in a way you deeply regretted. Then sit with it and ask yourself, what was really going on beneath the surface of that moment. For dream work, dreams are often direct symbolic messages from your unconscious. Keep a dream journal by your bed. As soon as you awake, jot down everything you remember. Look for recurring themes, figures, or symbols. Sometimes the monsters or the villains in your dreams aren't external threats. They might just be aspects of your own shadow, desperately seeking your attention and integration. Then there's active imagination. This remarkable technique, also developed by Jung, involves consciously engaging with figures, symbols, or even emotions that spontaneously emerge from your unconscious. You might literally visualize a part of yourself you're struggling with, maybe a feeling of inadequacy or a burst of anger, and then have a gentle, curious dialogue with it. What does it want to tell you? What does it truly need from you? This can be incredibly liberating. And this one is vital. Embrace your negative emotions. Instead of automatically pushing away anger, sadness, or fear, try simply sitting with them. What are they truly trying to communicate? Often these emotions are not enemies, they are messengers, signaling unmet needs, unresolved issues, or perhaps even boundaries that need to be setting. Learning to feel them without judgment, without needing to fix them immediately, is a truly crucial healing step in shadow integration. And finally, and this is important, seek professional guidance if you feel called to it. Shadow work can be intense. It can bring up difficult material. A Jungian analyst or a therapist trained in depth psychology can provide an invaluable, safe, and guided space to explore these deeper layers of your psyche. They can help you navigate challenging insights and integrate them into your life in a truly healthy, supportive way. Healing and transformation, the beautiful fruits of shadow work. Host. The healing power of engaging with your shadow is truly profound. When we consciously embark on this journey, several absolutely transformative shifts begin to occur in our lives. First, a deep, increased self-acceptance blossoms. We gradually shift from harsh self-judgment to a profound self-compassion, truly understanding that all parts of us, the light and the dark, have a rightful place. Then, you'll notice reduced projections and conflict. As we bravely own our own shadow, we project less onto others. This naturally leads to healthier, more authentic relationships and significantly less interpersonal conflict. You'll find yourself less easily triggered because you've understood the internal button that was being pushed. Crucially, you gain access to untapped potential. Remember those positive aspects of the shadow, the creativity, the courage, the intuition? They are finally freed. You become more authentic, more vibrant, more genuinely you, and profoundly more capable of living a full, uninhibited life. This leads to a greater authenticity and wholeness. You become truly yourself, not just the persona you've presented to the world. And this, my friends, leads to a deeper, more abiding sense of meaning and purpose in everything you do. And finally, a powerful emotional resilience emerges. By understanding, befriending, and integrating our darker emotions, we develop an incredible capacity to navigate life's inevitable challenges without being overwhelmed. We can feel deeply and still stand firm. Let's bring this to life. Imagine someone who has always suppressed their ambition, perhaps fearing it was too selfish or too much. Through dedicated shadow work, they might gently uncover the powerful drive and natural leadership qualities hidden there. Integrating this could mean bravely pursuing a long-held passion, stepping up to lead a challenging project, or simply advocating more strongly for themselves in their career. The result? Immense personal satisfaction and profound professional growth. Or consider someone who constantly struggles with overwhelming anxiety. By courageously exploring the roots of this anxiety, perhaps a deep-seated fear of vulnerability or an intense need for control, they might just uncover a hidden strength in their immense capacity for deep feeling, for empathy, for acute sensitivity. This discovery can utterly transform their relationship with anxiety itself, moving from battle to understanding. My dear listeners, remember this: shadow work is not a destination. It is a beautiful, ongoing journey. It's a lifelong commitment to self-discovery, to authentic living, and to profound growth. It demands genuine courage, unwavering honesty, and a profound willingness to look at what might feel uncomfortable at first. But I assure you, the rewards, the profound increase in self-awareness, the joy of authentic relationships, and that deep, abiding sense of wholeness, these rewards are truly immeasurable. They are your birthright. As Carl Jung himself so eloquently stated, and it's a quote I hold dear, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This, in essence, is the brave and beautiful work he left for all of us, the profound invitation to lovingly embrace our full humanity in all its astonishing complexity, its inherent beauty, and its boundless potential. I truly encourage each of you, wherever you are on your path, to begin this journey or to deepen it if you've already started. Pay attention to your inner world. Be incredibly kind and patient with yourself. And please, remember that every single step you take into the shadow brings you closer, ever closer, to your true, magnificent, authentic self. Thank you so much for joining me today on Applied Psychology, Carl Jung. Until next time, may your journey inward be one of the most profound and illuminating discoveries of your life.